Alright, this morning I've got a couple of videos to do. This will be the first one. In this video we're going to talk quickly about how you can retrieve this year's game-specific message, the information that provides which switches and where on the scale your robot actually scores points. So at the beginning of every match, the plates that you can actually score on for your alliance are randomized. So they more than likely won't be in the same configuration every single time you run a match. So you need to be able to get that information. That way, if you're autonomous to something specific to try to score points, you know which switch to actually put your power cubes on. The Screen Steps Live page has a lot of information on this 2018 game detail. I'm not going to go into all of it. I will link to it in the description of this video, and that way, if you guys want to go through and read the whole thing, you can. But basically, after they say 3, 2, 1, go, the field will animate the switches on the field a little bit, and then they will fix to their static colors, either red or blue on either side. And this is where you're going to be scoring. You will score based on the color that you are. So if you're red, you're going to score on red switches, obviously. That being said, the data is actually just a string of 3 characters, either an L or an R in each position. Capital L or capital R, there is a difference. If we look at the first example on Screen Steps Live, and we look at it from the context of the Blue Alliance, if you are standing behind your alliance wall, looking out onto the field, then the first letter will always be the switch that is closest to you. So in this case, blue would be left, right, left, as would red, left, right, left, if it's from the context of being behind the alliance wall. In example 2, they demonstrate the difference of how this works. So for the Blue Alliance, it's right, right, left. And for the Red Alliance, it's left, right, right. So it will always be in the context of you standing behind your alliance wall, behind your robot at the beginning of the match, facing out towards the field. So let's take a quick peek at how we would grab this information, and while Eclipse loads, I'm going to pause the video. Alright, so now that the Eclipse is all loaded and I've got the file that I want, there's a couple of things that you got to do to add to your program in order to be able to get the information from the driver station that has that left, right, left information in it. The first thing you need some way to interface with the driver station. So what we do is we create a variable that is of type driver station, and then we do something a little bit different. We call driver station the actual class name .getInstance. Without going too much into the reason behind why this is done, there is only one driver station, so you only ever want there to be one instance of a driver station. So they made it so in the library you can't create multiple driver stations. You can only get the one driver station. So what you do is you say driver station ds equals driver station.getInstance. This will make it so that you can interface with the driver station. Now, we're only going to be doing very, very specific things with the driver station's information. But there's a lot of stuff that you can get from it, like your team color, the rough match time, etc. But if we come down here, I created 3 sub-methods that will give you a general idea, and in fact, you could, as long as you add the driver station ds equals driver station.getDriverStation to the first part of your program, which you can go back in the video and pause there and actually copy that down if you need to. As long as you have those pieces, you could actually copy these as well, and these would work for you as well. Basically, I've created 3 pieces that just sort of split it up into the 3 different pieces. So this method here gets the switch that is closest to you. Closest to you from the context of standing behind your alliance wall. So basically what we do is we call the driver station instance and we say get game specific message. Get game specific message returns a string of characters. In this case, this one should always be 3 characters. And then we say char at 0. And we see that this method returns a char variable type. Same sort of thing with get scale, except in this instance we get the second character, because the second character is what indicates which side of the scale is on, according to your alliance color. And then the third one uses char at 2, because we want the last character in the string, because that's the one that will tell you what side your alliance color is on for the furthest switch. This is a really quick rundown, and you don't have to do it this way. You could always just copy-paste this into the different areas, depending on which switch or the scale that you wanted to know. But generally speaking, I think this is a little bit cleaner, and it also helps people understand your code a little bit better. But if you were going to do something with this information, I'm actually going to copy this out of here because it's in the wrong spot. But if you actually wanted to do something with this information, it's literally just this. I mean, this actually gets the closest switch side and checks to see if it's equal to the capital L. And if it is, it will do this thing. And if it's not equal to capital L, then it's a safe assumption that it's equal to capital R. So you can just say else and then put whatever you want it to be to do if it's R in there. Now, I will say this. In Java, capital L and lowercase l are not the same thing. So if you are going to be using the methods that I created, you do have to make sure that you are checking for the capital character and not the lowercase character. The other thing that I will say is if you actually open up the driver station, if you're experimenting in your build space, you can actually go into the settings tab as soon as the driver station is warmed up, and you can actually specify the game data. Is it going to do this every time? You can specify the game data that you want. So if you wanted to, if you were playing as the Red Alliance, Team Station 1, Red 1, you can change this as well. And you wanted to do it from the context of the switch closest to you being on your left side, the scale being on the right, and the furthest switch being on the right, then you just type that in and it would send that information. Don't ask me what happens if you type more than 3 characters. Not quite sure. It won't break the things that I wrote, provided you don't put anything in front of the string. But just to be safe, make sure you're only sending 3 characters. Because that's all you're going to be sent on the field anyways. That being said, very quick rundown. If you have any questions, obviously, please let me know. You can email me, or you can wait until you see me either at one of your build sessions or out and about. If you see me out and about, you can always ask if I'm not too busy. But other than that, they've made this relatively easy to get the information anyways. It's up to you to do something with it. Alright, on to prepping for the next video.